I'm Lou, A Common Sense Patriot, and I thought I'd shift gears a bit today. In earlier installments, we've examined a variety of areas where our government and politicians have led us very far astray from the path our founders put us on 250 years ago. The egregious corruption in our government and the abuses of power and the misappropriation of we the people's money goes so deep and is so broad, it literally boggles the mind. But today, I want to do something different. Today, I want all of us to look in a mirror. I want to start a series that we'll come back to intermittently in future presentations, and I'm going to call this series Shame on Us. What we're going to start looking at are the myriad places where we've allowed our culture and our society to erode and to accept and to be okay with stuff that is absolutely off the rails. Things that are just plain wrong. But we've been so complacent and so focused on ourselves and our lives that we just let it happen anyway. And I'm definitely the pot calling the kettle black here, as I am just as guilty as anyone else. Over the next few months, y'all are going to see just how long this list gets. And it'll all kind of be captured in one place here at A Common Sense Patriot. You'll be able to watch the various installments of the Shame on Us video series, of which this will be number 1. And it's going to be overwhelming when you realize the shit we've become so used to that we don't even question it anymore or realize how wrong and destructive it is. The reality is that unfortunately, we have only our own apathy and inattention to blame. Thus, the series title of Shame on Us. I think what I'll try to do is identify 5 different issues in each installment, so let's see how this goes today. Here they are, in no particular order of importance or severity. That'll be for y'all to decide. First, how in the heck did we ever allow the Pledge of Allegiance to become optional in our schools? Unlike pledging allegiance to a particular person or a particular political party or anything like that, it is simply a pledge of allegiance to the country in which we live and uses the flag as a symbol of that nation. So a kid can go to school, he or she or it, don't get me started on that one yet, got to in a bus and is in a classroom to be taught by a person, which is a freedom and privilege protected by our armed forces, all of which is paid for with the tax dollars provided by citizens of the United States of America, not to mention the payment in blood of American patriots down through the decades. Yet we've allowed them the option to say, piss off, I don't owe any allegiance to that. Shame on us for allowing that. Second, we take a census in this country to determine, amongst other things, how many folks we have living here. And yet, we have allowed that questionnaire to have a very simple and important question banned. The Census Bureau of the United States of America is disallowed from asking if the individual filling out the census questionnaire is a citizen of this country or not. So we're not allowed to make any of the decisions about things like, for example, immigration quotas, etc., to be made with any data as to just how many non-citizens are already living here. Shame on us for allowing that. Third, we allow folks to go absolutely apeshit over a malnourished or abused dog or cat and to raise untold millions to take care of them, and to feed them and to shelter them. We allow this all while simply turning a blind eye to the murder of close to 1 million human babies every year. And that does not include the day after chemical abortions that take place every day. Now look, I'm an avid bow hunter, but I'm also an animal lover. If your dog gets near me, it's in serious danger of a big-time ear scratching or belly rubbing. So don't you dare say I'm an animal hater. But what if we took as much time and effort and spent as much money and political resources on managing unbridled pet reproduction as we do killing unborn, and in some gruesome cases, already birthed human babies? Shame on us for allowing that. Fourth, it's all the rage now that we need to have protection against title fraud. Just ask Bill O'Reilly. Your home is at risk of being stolen right out from under you by criminals who get your title online and then forge your signature and refinance your home with the bank and take all your equity in cash and disappear. Bill says you absolutely must pay a company called Home Title Lock $15 a month to protect your home from these criminals. Well, wait a minute. Have any of you taken the time to think about that? First of all, how many of y'all have taken your home's title and put it online? I didn't. Neither did you. But most importantly, why in the heck is it your responsibility if some bank loan officer makes a bad decision to lend money on your home to a crook when all you did was make your monthly mortgage payments as you agreed to do? Why isn't the money taken out of that loan officer's home equity? Why is someone else's mistake of not verifying that the person applying for the home equity loan is in fact the homeowner? The real home, why is that the real homeowner's problem? Why isn't that the bank's problem if they let a criminal fraud them? How do we, the people, just stand ignorantly by and allow that? Shame on us for allowing that. And finally, today's last issue. Why do we allow robocalls? Why do I have to interrupt whatever I'm doing to answer a telephone call so for the 4th time this week I can be told by a computer that I need to buy a car warranty? Why should my privacy in my own residence or on my private cell phone be interrupted to have some politician or their lackey or a computer tell me why I need to vote for Numbnuts McGee? Now look, if I'm watching TV or listening to the radio or driving down the freeway and see a billboard or flipping through a magazine, I have the option of just ignoring the ad. And it takes no specific action on my part to let that medium into my life. On the other hand, if my phone rings, I have to stop what I'm doing in my personal and private time to answer the phone to find it's an ad or campaign call or a survey or a call to ask for a contribution of money to this or that. Now some will say it's my choice whether to even answer the phone or to get up to check the caller ID. Well, I'm always going to check who's calling because it could be my 86-year-old mom calling to tell me she's fallen, or my wife or one of my kids to tell me they've been in a car wreck. The bottom line is that I still have to stop what I'm doing to walk over to look at the caller ID, if I even have a caller ID, or pick up my cell phone to check it to see who's calling. And I have to do that if I'm sleeping in, or eating dinner, or playing with one of my grandkids. Again, in the privacy of my home. Yes, there are no call lists that I can take the time to research and apply to. But why should I have to do that? And those no-call lists almost always eventually get hacked and become ineffective. Folks, robocalls are a huge invasion of our privacy, and yet we've come to just accept them instead of stopping them. Shame on us for allowing that. Anyway, my gosh, people, at some point we must say enough is enough. We must say no more of this type of bullshit. We must start to demand common sense be returned to our everyday lives and say no to things that erode our freedoms and our peace of mind and our privacy. Oh well, like I said, in the months ahead, A Common Sense Patriot will be interspersing these exposures of societal and cultural issues in our lives with the typical looks we take at our governments and politicians' wrongdoings. I hope you find them thought-provoking, but I also hope you find yourself getting pissed as the list grows and grows. Because, my fellow patriots, only when you get angry enough at all the crap we get shoved down our throats every day will you decide to act and to change the trajectory of our country back to freedom and common sense. Our innocent posterity deserve no less from us. I'm Lou, the Common Sense Patriot. As always, Godspeed to all of you.